Well, hey there, my friend. Today we are back into our gouache talk. I'm going to talk about gouache a little bit, and I'm celebrating. I finally filled my gouache book up. It's been a couple years in the making because this is what I do when I feel I need a reprieve from deadlines. So I come in here and I'm just learning about gouache. So I'm going to take you on a tour through this book and talk about some of the paintings, maybe talk about a little bit of what went on during the process. And I'm also going to tell you that everything in this book was done with wet gouache. So I'm going to discuss a little bit of my wet gouache palette. I love working with wet gouache. I am working with a dry gouache palette as well, but everything in this sketchbook has been done with the wet gouache palette. So if you are new to this channel or new to my blog, I am Linda Glover Gouache. I'm so glad that you joined me. This is the time of inspiration and to learn and grow, and I hope that that's what you get out of my videos. I will link to my favorite gouache supplies below the video. So let's roll into the sketchbook tour, and you can always fast forward if it's too long or if you want to click through and look at what you want to look at. I take you through this. There's about, I think, 33 or so paintings in there. So we're going to roll through that, and I'll see you at the end. So the front cover was blank for quite a while because I just didn't know what I wanted to put on there. And so I just did this kind of a little tribute to the mountains. Just a scene. I kind of changed the composition a little bit. So this sketchbook was from January 2022 to February 2026. And again, this is all gouache, nothing but gouache in this sketchbook completely. So this was the front page. Now, what I worked on, this is a Hanamule toned sketchbook. And I think that the paper was fine for gouache. I don't know how it would work with watercolor, but I found it to be fine with gouache, so that just worked for me. And then on these pages, what I did from the very beginning was I would print a photo, so I would prepare about 5 pages in advance, just with the image on it. I would have 5 pages or so that were already ready with the images that I was inspired by. If not, I would find myself spending hours trying to find something. And so this way they were ready. In retrospect, on all my other books, I probably won't put a photo in here because these I print myself, and no matter what photo you're using, there's ink on it. And I wondered over time what it would do to the painting. So in between each page, I put these vellum sheets. I'm going to remove them all while I'm videoing, but these vellum sheets are between each page, but they're going to get taken out just for the sake of this video. Each page has a photo and I wrote something, but throughout this, what I plan on doing is I'll just zoom up on this page here because there are quite a few of these images to go through. And if this is too long of a video for you, just, you can fast forward. But I kind of wanted you to see my layout. It was kind of fun to do this, to glue the photos in here, to write about it, what inspired me about it, or maybe something specific about the place. So this is my first piece. I painted this in 2022, my very first gouache piece, and I was actually pretty happy with it. I had a lot of fun with it, and from there I moved on to more oceans and a lot of, let's just go through this book. I was just really working on ocean scenes. This was July of 2024. So you can see there was quite a span. this was 2022, and I guess I gave gouache up for a couple years. I just, whatever, I was really busy, who knows why. But then I got back to it again in 24, so this was July 2024. This is August, and this is actually a tree up in the wine country of California. And again, I was using just a lot of images of all of my years of travel in different places that I have been, and I just started picking through. Some of these turn into bigger paintings, some don't. It just sort of depends. I think I might paint this piece big someday. I kind of liked it. I did use washi tape. I buy these rolls of washi tape and use them. I don't like bright colored washi tape because it's kind of obnoxious peripheral vision. So I like to try to find sort of some neutral colors that I can use. I'm not into all the cutesy little patterns. I just don't want anything that's going to bother my peripheral vision. This is the view out my studio window looking west, one of my windows. I have a large picture window that looks out to the west, and there's a hillside with some rocks. This is actually up in the outskirts of Sedona, and this did turn into a few bigger pieces. I did it up to a 9 by 12. So I'm out in West Sedona with my view looking towards Cottonwood and Jerome. The clouds were absolutely incredible, so I had to do a sky scene. I low foreground. This is an oil, and it's a 12 by 9. Just a gorgeous day in Arizona. Beautiful skies. And then I did it up to I think something maybe 16 by 12, some different sizes. I've used it over again a few times to help me figuring out different compositions. So this was a scene that I painted from Sedona. This was in September 24. I did a plein air piece, and then I did some larger pieces, and then you can see there is the photo there. And I have several different formats of that photo. And I may paint it again. I may change the format of it again, the size of it, rearrange the foreground. Blooms in Honduras. I traveled to Honduras multiple times, and we're in November of 24. I painted this on Thanksgiving weekend. This is up in the Rocky Mountain National Park above Estes Park. This is up on the Trail Ridge Road. And I know I wrote over here on the left that it feels like at the top of the world. It's 12,000 feet elevation up there. And I remember hiking up to this area. We took our plein air stuff and hiked up there. And I remember being out of breath. I used to go into Colorado with a bunch of friends. There was the Texas group. We all painted together for a while. It became the Texas Outdoor Painters Society. But this was years ago that we would travel up there. And this gorgeous area up there with all those rocks and timberline. It was timberline. This is a rainy night here in Arizona. Was just a scene that I thought was kind of cool. We are up in Glacier National Park and totally enjoyed painting this piece. Lots of fun. Love tweaking out these foregrounds here with all the little flowers, and I love the way that fog just settles in there in Glacier around those mountains. And this is just a piece of a tree scene that I wanted just to capture to see if I could just get some moodiness. And we are in Glacier. This is beautiful area up there, and I had painted on site here when I was teaching a workshop up there. There's a river that's running right beside this down in the foreground, and it was gorgeous. And then there was a whole little field to the left of us of daisies, which is coming up in the next page. So these daisies were sitting, wow, how glorious. This big mountain scene with the river running by it, it was like hard to decide, what do you paint? So that was beautiful. And I was teaching, like I said, a workshop up there. It was an amazing, amazing. This is the daisy scene. And I loved painting this. And when I started this, I thought it was about the daisies, but it really turned into that magical forest back there in the back. I want to paint this in oils. I just haven't gotten to it. And I'm reading some of the stuff that I wrote over to the left, which is helping me remember what these pictures were from. And this is a little river along the roadside up in Sedona. And I just was really drawn to, you know, the composition was pretty much given to me. I didn't do a lot of changes. Now this did become a bigger painting. I painted this bigger in oils, and there is on the YouTube channel here where you can watch both those demonstrations. One is painted in oils and one is painted in gouache. You might want to zip over and look those up. I'll link those. That might be something you might want to watch. Now this is Sedona, and this is out in the Secret Mountain Wilderness, and this did turn into a big painting. I have a big oil painting of this at the gallery. So I do use some of these studies as reference to help me with bigger pieces. This was not my intention in the beginning that these would become studies for bigger paintings, but sometimes I find that it works for me that way, so I just go with it. Then we are back up in Glacier, and quite a variation in greens. Like I told you, I really do enjoy working with green and gouache. So that fascination with the greens, the pine trees, and those little wildflowers just is sticking with me. This is on Going to the Sun Road up in Glacier National Park. Very inspiring country there. Then we're back down into the desert. This was this fall piece of the city lights not far from my house up on the hillside. So you can see those saguaros there, and a lot of reflected light from the city lights, and just it was a very bright moonlit night as well. These are all gouache. Then we're back into Glacier. See, there's no rhyme or reason, really. It was what did I feel like painting? And sometimes I would even skip a few pages, and there would be some pages unpainted because I wasn't in the mood to paint one that I had put down. But this is over on the east side of Glacier National Park in Montana. Gorgeous, big mountain rising up off of that landscape. Nice contrast between your complements of the blue purples and the orange yellows. Nice complement there. This was a study for my museum piece that was for Cowgirl Up. Then I did a little bit bigger for my Christmas Spacious Skies cell, though in my museum piece I have a lot more clover in there. This one I put a few different little spots of flowers, looks like some oranges and just some touches, but it went into from this small piece. So this, just to give you an idea, this is a 4.5 by 4.5 inch. Then I did do it on a 6 by 6 for Christmas Spacious Skies, and then I jumped up to a 34 by 34 oil. Stormy scene, this inspired a bigger piece that I painted. Actually, I did another practice piece of this. This is a little bit, this isn't square, but this is 4.5 by almost 7. Then I did a 6 by 6 of it for my Spacious Skies, and then it grew into a 16 by 16 that has gone to the museum show in Texas. Love to do all this little bit of sparkle here. This is a piece from Colorado, back in the day when I used to paint with a group that was called Rocky Mountain Plein Air Painters. But this actually is a piece right outside of Winter Park. I've always wanted to paint this scene, so here it is, done in gouache. I've never painted this exact scene in oils, but it was a lot of fun. Then my final page is a bit of a tribute to these big trees that we have. I have some in my neighborhood, the desert, some of the yuccas, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do on the last spread. But my neighbors have one of these trees so unmanicured, which they're gorgeous. Then I have some of these yuccas that get unmanicured because they're hard to keep up on. I just wanted to do that. Nothing, just some different trees plopped down in here and a little bit of organic groundwork of bushes and things. And what I wanted to do was get that deserty feel. You know, that desert air we have here is very dry, and I wanted to feel that in this scene. So there you go. That's the whole tour of my book. This is February 2026 when I finally finished this up. So there's no reason that you have to feel like you're in a huge hurry on these things. I started this, like I said, in January of 2022, and I finished it in February of 2026. Now, I've done a lot of other things in between all of that. But I have a magnitude of other sketchbooks, I'll just say that. I have all kinds of different sketchbooks going with different things, some with some watercolor studies, some with just some nature journal type stuff, some with just play, just a variety of things. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and if you have never painted in gouache, look through my channel. There are a lot of gouache studies through here. Well, if you're still with me, I want to tell you thank you. I know that was a lot of sketches to go through. I tried to not linger too long. You know, it's funny when you're going through your sketchbook, it prompts some memories of painting it or wherever that place was. So I tried to keep it as brief as possible. I hope that you enjoyed it. Remember, if you're not on my Teaching Tuesdays, that's when I send out an email. Every other Teaching Tuesday is full of information. It takes you to the blog where I have really valuable lessons, and usually ends up a video as well where you can learn from. So if you're not, you can sign up at Teaching Tuesdays. I'll drop the link below the video as well. And remember, I have my Masterful Painting Online School. This is where I teach online. Very detailed minute-by-minute lessons. You have access to reach out for help, I have clouds, I have the Grand Canyon, and I have some rocks, and I have a really awesome sketch extravaganza that helps you become a better sketching artist. It also leans over into painting too. The better you get at sketching, the better your painting becomes, because drawing is a fundamental. All right, my friend, as always, thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please consider. If you liked this video, I'd love to hear about it. If you're painting in gouache and you love it and you have some favorite supplies, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. We always are curious what other people are doing. So thank you again for watching. Remember, stay at the easel, the drawing board, wherever your creative practice is. Most importantly, enjoy the journey, my friend.